Okay, good to to everybody. We're up to Daf Dalit Amid Beis, the first Mishnah on the page. I'm discussing Bezdin giving a hayra, and again, this is the Parhel and Davishal Tzibor. If Bezdin b'shoigeg gives a hayra, and people act upon it as shoigeg as a result, then they're going to go ahead and bring the Parhel and Davishal Tzibor. As we're going to see, there are other variables. One of the members of the Bezdin knows they made a mistake. He says to them, you're making a mistake. Second case, when they gave the psak, the mufla of the Bezdin, the outstanding member of the Bezdin wasn't there. Third, one of the members of the Bezdin was a ger, a mamzer, and a sin. David was geyser on them. Or Zakin didn't have any children, therefore he could possibly be too cruel, and therefore he can't be a dayan. How is that pata? Then you pata from the Nehel Mishal Tzibor in this case. Shnemar kan eda, v'nemar lahalan eda. It says over here, v'im kol adas Yisrael yishku, kol adas Yisrael, v'nemar lahalan. It says v'shaftu eda. It says by v'shaftu eda, and by ritzeach, by dinin nefashos. It says v'shaftu ritzeach, and so malahalan, just like over there further on. As opposed to in the sin and mamzer, so in that case, and how do you know if the mufla bezdin wasn't there that they can't go ahead right and they don't bring the parhel and davar? If the bezdin goes ahead and paskins in something that the tzedaikim would be moida. In other words, the Torah shebech sav. They should have learned and they didn't. Zil kari be'ravhu. We said any kid knows that. If they gave a psak and the mufla wasn't there, to ask the mufla. In other words, they had a question of psak. They should have asked the mufla. And by not having the mufla there and giving the psak, they're going. That's something they shouldn't have done. And Memela, the parhel and dove is not brought. Okay. We said it says over here Adas b'nei Yisrael. It says by Tzeyach. It says lashon of Eda. Just like over there it was with Royer Loira. So too over here it's Royer Loira. Now here's the question: why over there is it Royer Loira? How do we know by the way Tzeyach? How do you know that what it was Royer Loira? How do we know that? Says the Gemara. The pasuk says. And you should sit there with, and they should sit there with you. Imach, but they should be similar to you. So it's speaking over here where Moshe gathered the Zekanim, and Hashem says they should sit there with you. So we are darshaning similar to Moshe. Moshe was a miyuchis, right? Moshe was he had children, all these. So l'chayra. Imach, similar to you, so Mamela we know it can't be a mamzer and a sin. Maybe it means that you might think that these zekanim should go lifnai lifnim. So Hashem is telling them, no, don't. They should stay with you, Moshe, just like you're staying outside. They should stay outside. In other words, maybe it doesn't mean they're comparing to Moshe. They're comparing that instead of going into being nichnas to the oil moyeh to the shechina, which you might think. No, they should stay v'syatzu sham. They should stay there imach with you, but not to tell you the Inyan yichus of Sanhedrin, right? Not to tell you that then. So therefore, that's not a good source. Ella Amar of Nachman by Yitzchak Amakra v'nasa itcha. The pasuk says, "V'shavtu esa'am b'chaleis v'hoya kol adava hagadol." So this is what Yisro said to Moshe. So therefore we know similar to you. That's where you know from. And therefore the Eid has to be similar to Moshe. Memela Eida Adas. Therefore what? If you have a member of the Sanhedrin who's not Roy Lekach and they give a psak, they're not going to bring the Helen Davishal Tzibor. Horu Bezdin Shoygin. V'yasu Kolak Hal Shoygin. If Bezdin acted as a Shoygeg, and the rest of the kahal also, maybe in par. That's when you bring the par helam davar. When Bezdin blew it, and as a result, and the kahal blew it. In other words, the kahal felt that they're shoyg again. Mezidin, Bezdin blows up in Mezid, V'asu shoyg again, Mevian kispa usira. That case, the klal is going to bring what? Bezdin's going to bring nothing because they're Mezidim. The klal is going to bring a typical chatas, a sira kispa. No, it's not the special par because Bezdin was a Mezid. Shoyg again v'asu Mezidin. Bezdin goes ahead and issues the psak b'shoygeg. V'asu Mezidim. And they, Klal Yisrael, act b'mezid, harei lepeturim. In that case, you're going to be pata because what? Of someone who brings a carbon. It's a mezid doesn't bring a carbon. So the only time you're going to bring the helam davar is shoygeg, shoygeg. Shoygeg, what? Mezid, shoygeg, you're going to bring a shoygeg, you're going to bring sheep, female, goat. When mezid, shoygeg, mezid, then you pata. Now, the Gemara makes a diak. Shoygegin v'asem mezidim, harei lepeturim. If they're shoygegim and they act b'mezid, then they're pata. What about hashoygeg doimid the mezid? In other words, they're shoygeg, but it's a situation similar to mezid. For example, they mated chalev, but you're nischalev chalev b'shumin. So in other words, you have in front of you chalev and shumin, so it's close to mezid. Why? Because you have it's you didn't go ahead and eat based upon their psak. So we had a shaila earlier, guys. If you just go back for a second to Beis Amid Aleph. The second wide line. Beis Amid Aleph, the second wide line. The boy Rami Bar Chama, Hoyru Bezdin Shechelev Mutta, Vinischalef Le B'Shumin. Remember, we had the guys, it said two Lashonis over here. It said Pihem, and it said Shoygeg. So we said there's two situations, where they acted directly, or you were a Shoygeg. And the Chiddush was that what they would bring there, we had two Lashonis and Rava. So he asked the Shaila, Chelu Shemuta Vinischalef B'Shumin, V'achlumahu, what's the din? Okay, so now that was his shaila. So l'chayra now from a diak in the Mishnah over here, we can be paisha the shaila. What's the diak? Let's see the Gemara inside. Shoygin v'asu mezidim hariyele peturim. Hashoygeg dumya de mezid chayev. V'hechi dami. What's the case of shoygeg dumya de mezid? Shahayru bezdin shechelev mutta. Okay, that's the shoygeg. V'neschalev le b'shumin, and the guy had in front of him chelev b'shumin. V'achlu le'met tifshayt. Let's be paisha that you would be pata. Right? Dafka shoygeg v'aso. No, that's be paisha yichayev. Dafka mezid. Right? Oh, but shoygeg dumya de mezid, you be chayev. Says the unless we put tifsha hadaboy Rami Vachoma, Amalach we should be ton of ration mezidim v'asu shoygeg, ton of sefer shoygeg v'asu mezidim. There's no diak to be made over here. This is just for stylistic reasoning. In other words, since the first part of the Mishnah stated that what mezidim v'asu shoygeg, so we learned shoygeg v'asu mezidim, but not to make a diak. Shoygeg similar to mezid yichayev. Don't make the diak. There is no diak. Sometimes you have a diak. This is gufa. You need it for itself. Why? Just because of stylistic purposes. Hayra bezdin v'yasu kol kahal. All of Klal Yisrael acts upon the psak. Ay ruben al pihem, or majority. Mevi in par. You would bring that par hel and davar. Ubavoidis kechavim. If they blow it in avodah zara, not only maybe in par, but you bring a seir as well. Par b'seir. That's a special din by Bezdin Paskin. By avodah zara, you're going to be a par and a seir. Divrei Reb Meir. These are the words of Reb Meir. Reb Yehuda Omer, Yud Beis Shvatim, Mevi and Yud Beis Parim. Yud Beis Shvatim, you're not going to bring one par, but each shavit is going to bring its own par. Reb Yehuda says each shavit is going to bring its par. Ubavoidis kechavim Mevi Yud Beis Parim, Ushnei Meser Sirim, 12 and 12. Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion that each shaver is considered a kahal. So when it says it should go, that each one's going to bring, we're going to have a limud for each. We're going to have 4 opinions, fellas, and we're going to bring a limud for all of them. Or 3 opinions. Reb Shimon says, you gimel parim, you bring 13, 12 plus 1, 12 plus 1. Or b'bayis kechavim shloisha or asa parim, you bring 13 parim, v'yu gimel sirim. Par v'seil l'chol shevet v'shevet. Par b'seir l'chol shevet v'shevet. Par b'seir lebezdin. Okay, so Rav Shimon's of the opinion you're going to bring for bezdin as well. Horu bezdin v'yasu zayin shvatim oiruban al pihem. Bezdin paskins and zayin shvatim or roiv of Klal Yisrael act maybe in par. Then they're going to bring a par. These are words of Reb Meir. You're not going to bring more than one. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Zayin Shvatim Shechatu, Mevi'in Zayin Parim. Vishar Shvatim Shaloi Chatu, Mevi'in Al Yedehen. You hear this? This is called Gerira. If the Zayin, they go ahead and over the Avera, the Goira, the other 5 Shvatim, they have to bring as well. Zayin Parim, this is Rabbi Yehuda Shita. Zayin Shvatim Shechatu, Mevi'in Zayin Parim, Ushar Shvatim Shleichatu, Mevi'in Al Yedehen Par. Shaf Elu Shleichatu, Mevi'in Al Yedehen Chaitim. Reb Shimon Aimer Ches Parim, 7 and 1. Ches Parim, Ches Seirim. By 7 and 1. Paviseil chal shevet v'shevet, paviseil lebezin. Hoyer bezin shel echad min hashvatim, of one of the bezin of one of the shvatim. In other words, not bezin hagadol, the one local bezin. V'aso yisay hashevet al piem, yisay shevet uchayev v'shar shvatim p'turim. Div Rabbi Yehuda v'cham moimrim ein chayav mela arayis bezin hagadol uvad. You're not going to be chayev for the local bezin's psak. Shnemar v'im kol adas Yisrael yishku v'lo yadas yisay shevet. So I went through this quickly because we're going to see a chart right now.
Which Zion Shvatim did an Avera? What Avera?
Whatever best in Paskin, and it's a chalev. Whatever it's a Avera that we carry of Karis. We're speaking about the Par Hel and
Oh, it's hypothetical. If Zion Shvatim did an Avera?
Yes, if they did. Okay, so here we go, guys. If Roiv of Klal Yisrael does it, Roiv of Klal Yisrael, Leit Reb Meir, you're going to bring 1 part. If Leit Reb Yehuda, 12 parim. Each shevet's going to bring. Leit Reb Shimon, each shevet plus Bezdin. That's 13 parim. So 1 par, 12, 13. That's if the Zayin Shvatim do it, not all of Klal Yisrael, Zayin Shvatim. Reb Meir says still 1 par. Rabbi Yehuda says Zayin Parim, right? Zayin Parim, right? But in fact, what? That's for the Chaitim. But the Goyrev, they're going to go ahead and schlep along. They're going to schlep along the other 5, as we'll see. So it's really going to be 12. Rabbi Shimon says Zayin and 1 is 8 Parim. Local Bezdin, only Rabbi Yehuda says that Shevet brings. These 2 not. Where do they learn it from? The Gemara is going to discuss it. I'm going to foreshadow you that right now, okay? If the pasuk says the following, you see a pasuk? Psukim, right? Good. Now, here's what the pasuk says: the im kol adas Yisrael yishku, all of Kal Yisrael do an aver b'shogeg. The nelam dova me'eni hakahol, and the matter is hidden from what? Ve'eni hakahol. V'asu achas mikol mitzvus aseh Hashem lo yasenu v'ashemu. So it says over the word hakahol. V'noidoa achatas shechatu aleha, and it becomes known the chatas that they did. V'krivu hakahol par ben bakol lechatas ve'avio solif ne'al moyed. So in this pasuk it says hakahol, and this pasuk says hakahol. There is 3 different ways to darshan this, guys. Watch. I can say 1 kahal, 1 kahal. I could say 4 kahal. A hey is 1, kahal is 2. A hey is 1, a kahal is 2. 2 and 2 is 4. I could say hakahal me'eni hakahal is derech agav, and the hey is just 1 kahal. And here would be 2. So 2 and 1 is 3. Reb Meir darshans, guys, kol kahol as 2. Rabbi Yehuda darshans hakahol is 4. Reb Shimon darshans hakahol is 3. So now watch. You still don't see. You see the chart? No. You see the pasuk, right? I have to go back. Okay, that's what I have to do. Now you see the chart, right? Okay, so watch. Reb Meir. What's his reasoning? It says hakahal, but he only darshans it as 2. Gezerah shava. He has a gezerah shava. Just like over here, it's bezdin, and it's 1. So too over here, it's bezdin. Hakahal is 4. Hey. So now, 1 for each shevet. 1 for when Rov kahal. Gerira, it schleps along the other 5 when 7 does it, and 1 for local Bezdin. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Says Reb Shimon, Me'ene Kahal is only 1, because this is Derech Agav. Hakahal is 2, is 3. So 1 is for each Shevet, 12. Ksei Shava teaches me, Hakahal, just like Me'ene Kahal is Bezdin, so too when the second Kahal is Bezdin. So guys, look, Hakahal is Bezdin, Me'ene Kahal, and here is Bezdin. So when they bring also, so too the other Kahal. So therefore, that's why he gets Bezdin. That's the, in a nutshell, that's it. In a nutshell. So that's why I went through very quickly because I was going to go over it anyway. Okay, so don't hold to your horses, and Bez Hashem, it'll come together. The whole thing will come together. Tan Rabbana. Okay, a lot of psukim. Tan Rabbana. It says Yadu Shahayroi. Bezdin knows that they blew it. V'tou Mahayroi. But they don't know what they blew it in. Okay, what's it talking about? Guys, they blew a psak, either chelev or dam, they don't know. The kahal went ahead and did both. Do you bring the parhelam dava? You hear? So that's the case. They blew one or the other. The kahal, one is toilet bezdin and one is shigagas maisa. So Tanaban Yadoi Shahayru, they know they went ahead and they blew a psak. But they don't know which one. You'd say Miman of Shach, there should be Chayiv, Tamid Loimar, V'noido HaChatas, right? And the Chastas is known. They have to know the Chet they're doing. And not to know the people sinned, but you have to know what the sin was. So since they don't know what they blew it in, was it dam or chatas, despite the fact that they vaded in avera on one of them was bezdin. They zicha ate on bezdin on the hayra, but we don't know which one. In that case, what? It's going to be pata. The pasuk. Okay, so this is we're dashing fellas. We're dashing this pasuk, right? Not this. We're dashing this pasuk. V'noida hachatos. What does v'noida hachatos mean? It has to be known the chet they did. That which one? They did 2 over here. You don't know which one. They're not going to bring. Now we're going to dash in the words asher chatu alaha. So as it continues the Gemara, asher chatu alaha, chatu shnei shvatim, mevi and shnei parim. If 2 shvatim do an avera, they bring 2 parim. We're going to see this is Rabbi Yehuda. Chatu shleisha, mevi and shleisha. Ayena oime ela chatu shnei yechidim, mevi and shnei parim. Maybe it's going on yechidim. Chatu gimel mevi and gimel tamalayma. What does it say, fellas? Asher chatu v'hikru hakahol. Guys, right? It says, and it's known the chet asher chatu, that they did. Maybe yechidim. Comes along this pasuk, guys. What does it say? Hakahol. We're dealing with the kahal. We're not dealing with yechidim. Hakol chayiv. V'chol kahal chayiv. Ketzad. Chatu shnei shvatim mevi'in shnei parim. Chatu zayin mevi'in zayin. Ushash shvatim shnei chatu mevi'in al yedayim par. And the rest of this is grira, guys. The rest of the shvatim, they're going to bring a par. In other words, in this scenario, I have to go after this. I wish I'd be able to know how to do this. Maybe. I wish I knew how to. Maybe I can do it this way. Do you see the chart now? Do you see the pasuk now? I got it, guys. I got it. You see the chart now?
Yeah.
Okay, Gavaldik. Okay, so watch. When he says Zayin Purim, it's Lav Dafka Zayin. You know what it is? 7 Shvatim, Zayin, add 1 more for the other 5. It's not 12. You don't put 12 over here. I said before 12. It's a mistake. Put 1 more here, like here. But you're not bringing, here it's Bezdin bringing it. There it's 1 being brought by the other 5 Shvatim. That number 3, that Gerira that got schlepped in. Got it? Okay, very geschmack. So this is again, with the chart and this, the Gemara goes geschmack. It put it all together. It goes very nice. So now, one more time. Ketzad chatu shnei shvatim mevi'in shnei parim. Chatu zayin mevi'in zayin. Ushash shvatim shlei chatu mevi'in al yedayim par. Through the other 7 that were chayta, it's going to schlep along the other ones for a par. Shafilu elu shleichatum evian al yedei achaitim. Even the ones that didn't sin are going to go ahead what and bring by the ones who did sin. L'kach nema. Therefore, it says kahal l'chayiv al kahal v'kahal, to be chayiv on each and every kahal. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, so now you have Rabbi Yehuda Shita, guys, right? If they all do it, 12 parim. If Zion do it, guys, what? Zion, and you're going to add a 1 for the other Shvatim. Good. Reb Shimon Aimer, Zion Shvatim Shtachatu, Mevian Zion Parim, Ubezdim Mevian Al Yedei Par. You got it, guys? Here it is. You hear it? 7 and 1, right in front of you. 8 Parim. Shenemar Lemata Kahal. It says above Kahal. Venemar Lemaila Kahal. Ma Kahal Ami Lemaila Bezdin Ima Kahal. Me'eni Kahal, you Bezdin with them. Af Kahal Ami Lemata Bezdin Makahal. Reb Meir Aimer, Reb Meir Shita, Zion Shvatim Shechatu, Bezdin Mevian Al Yedei Par. That's it. Vehem Peturin. Nemakal lemata, v'nemakal lemayla, makal am lemayla, bezdin v'leit tzibur, afkal am lemata, bezdin v'leit tzibur. Reb Shimon ben Elazar, this is a sheet that we haven't seen yet. I didn't put this on the chart. Reb Shimon ben Elazar, Aimer, Mishmai, it says, Chatu shisha shvatim, v'heim rubai, shel kahal. You have the minority of shvatim, but the majority of people. Like we spoke at the other day, big states, right? California, New York. So in other words, you have Shvatim that are minority in Shvatim, but majority of people. Or the smaller states that we spoke at, right? Even though it's a minority of people, maybe in par. They'll bring a par. Good. That's the brisa. Amar, going over the brisa. Man Tana. Who's the Tana of that first memra? Who's the Tana of that first memra? Rav Yehuda Amarav Vitem Rava. The like Rabbi Eliezer. It's not like Rebbe Eliezer. It's not like Rebbe Eliezer. Okay? Meaning, they ate, guys, what's the case? Guys, what's the case? The Kahal ate Dam and Chalev. Bezdin doesn't know which one they paskin on. You're going to eat Pata. You're not going to bring the Helen Dog. This is not like Rebbe Eliezer in the Mishnah in Krisus. There's a Mishnah in Krisus where you ate Chalev and Noiser. You ate one of them, and you don't know which one you ate. You know what Eliezer says? Guess what? You're a double loser. Chalev is karis, nois is karis. We don't care. You machnish nois. So even though we don't know, so Memela, this din over here that you're saying that you ate dam and you ate chalev, and if you don't know which one you're going to be pata, it's not like Rebbe Eliezer in the Gemara increases where what he says whether you ate nois or you ate chalev. Okay, the nan Amar Rebbe Eliezer manashach. Im chalev achol chayev, noiser achol chayev. So too over here, if you ate dam, you chayev. If you ate chalev, you chayev. Rav Ashi Amar afilu temer Rebbe Eliezer. Rebbe Eliezer would agree over here. Shiny hacha dechsiv, because we have a pasuk. It says asher chatu oleha. Right. The pasuk says you have to know asher. The pasuk says asher chatu oleha. Right. Asher chatu aleha. Here it is. In other words, a kosev over here, Rebbe Eliezer would agree, Pashtus, Ashachatu, you have to know which one. So over here, if it was Dam or Chalev, you have to know. So he would agree. Okay, that's what the Gemara says. Hasanami ksiv ashachata ba. Over there, also, it says Oyhoida alav chatasa ashachata ba. That's by the pasuk of what of regular chatas. Oyhoida ashachata ba. That it says over there. So it's a kasha. If you're telling me Rav Ashi, it says you have to know which one. Over there also, it says ashachata ba. So the Gemara says, "Hahumi boile." I need that ashechata ba patlam misasek. Guys, you bend down to go ahead and take something that's tolush, and you go ahead and grab something that is what your pato, because that's misasek. There ashechata ba, you have to know the chait, not that misasek but alma. Okay, memela Rav Ashi's teretz is a good teretz. That ashechatu olaha. So Rabbi Eliezer, who disagrees by noiser and chalev, would agree by the chal by noiser by dam and chalev. Okay, now we're going to go through each one. Guys, we're going to go through, guys. I'm going to put the chart up here. I'm going to go through each one. See the chart, right? Okay, good. Okay. My time is Rabbi Yehuda. Kasava arba kahale ksivi. It says for kahal. Kahal hakahal. Kahal hakahal. It could have said hakahal. It says hakahal with a hey. So each hey we're going to dash, and you see in the chart, we're going to dash it wide as two each. Each one's going to be a two. Chad l'chayv kol kal kahal. Each one of the shvatim achayev. Guys, look. Rev Klal Yisrael. Each one 12 shvatim achayev. V'chad l'chayro tuluya bebezdin u'maisa tali b'kahal. Want to tell me you bring a par for Roiv Kahal. V'chad l'gerira, that 7 shvatim act, guys, 7 parim, but you're going to schlep along another one, plus 1. Again, I'm missing that on the chart, I'm sorry. V'chad l'shevet she'asu b'roz bezdin, and 1 for the local, this one over here, this local one that shevet, that shevet alone, it's not the best in a gadol, it's a local shevet you're going to bring. So he has what? 4 dinim. This, and this, and the regular case of what? Of shoygeg, right? Shoygeg. Reb Shimon tlasikal ksivi. Reb Shimon, guys, it says 3. Reb Shimon says 3. Hakahel kahal hakel me'eni hakal urcha dekrahu. Guys, look at the chart. Me'eni hakahal is only 1 because that's urcha, and hakahal is 2, is 3. Kidami inshi me'eni diplanya. The eyes is so and so. Chad l'chayva kol kal kahal. Guys, look at the chart. Reb Shimon is going to be chayiv 12, right? Each kahal, each shevet. V'trei achrina nema lamata kahal v'nema lamayla kahal. You have a gzera shava. Malahal and bezdin ima kahal. Me'eni kahal, guys, means what? With bezdin. Avkam be bezdin. Therefore, Reb Shimon, guys, has the extra 13. He has that extra 1. You see in the chart? He's got that extra 1 over there, right over there. Over here, there's extra 1. Always the extra 1 bezdin. Reb Meir, hakal hakahal loydarish. He doesn't dash in the extra hay. Tilkach, what does he have? 2. Ksivi, okay. Kal ksivi boili lenema lamata, kal nema lamayla, kal malamal, halam bezdin, v'leit tzibor, avkan bezdin v'loi tzibor. Only 1 carbon. The guys, you have the whole thing in front of you, right in front of you. Baruch Hashem. There it is. Perfect. This is the improved version. This was the original. I have it written on a wedding from who knows when. Someone Hillel marrying Necha. Tafshin Ayin Aleph. When's Ayin Aleph? We're in Pei Hey. So this is 15 years ago, 2 cycles
14,
ago.
14 years ago.
Okay, 14-year-old child. Okay, this is the improved version. Okay, Baruch Hashem. I love the Zoom that I can import this and share it with you like this. It's gavaldik. It's mamish gavaldik. Pinchas Eliyahu in the house. Okay. Reb Shimon ben Elazar, guys. Reb Shimon ben Elazar has held the following: 6 and Roiv, or Zayin and Miut. Right? So in other words, either Roiv people, or Roiv Kahal. But where did he get his shita from? My time at Ksiv v'hoya im me'ene ho'eda alma mi'uta d'chsiv me'ene u'ksiv kilachala am b'shkaga. Now he brings it, guys, he's bringing it not from Helam Dover, he's bringing it from the parsha of Avodas Kechavim. It says in Bamidbar Tesvav, V'hoya im me'ene ho'eda nesa l'shkaga v'yasu kol ha'eda par ben baka echad la'oila l'reich nichayach v'seir izim echad l'chatas. We said in the Mishnah, you should know this, that if the tzibur does avodah zara, it's 2 kabbanis. There's a par and there's a seir. And there it says what? Me'ene. And then it says, v'nislach l'chol hadas b'nei Yisrael v'lager hagar b'soicham ki l'chol ha'am in yani diyayma ki l'chol ha'am b'shkaga. So on one hand, you have me'ene is a miut, me'ene from the mem. L'chol ha'am is a riboy. So beautiful of Shimon Elazar darshans. If you have the miut of what of shvatim but roiv people, or you have roiv shvatim and the miut of people, either way you can be chayiv. So The Gemara is going to ask, how do you know that that's by avoid zara? So the Gemara is going to learn out me'eni avoid zara to me'eni over here by par helam davar. Okay, let's see it inside. Okay, says the Gemara. Rav Shim ben Elazar my time. Eksiv v'hoyim me'eni ha'eda alma miuta deksiv me'eni uksiv ki l'chol am b'shgaga l'memra deruba in miuta loy. Okay, said, how do you go ahead and fulfill both? Kate said, asavav v'hein ruba shel kahal oy zayin afilu she'ein ruba shel kahal chayav imam beis. Okay, now, in the chart, Rav Shimon Rav Meir, the Hayra Taluya bebezdin umaisa tali bekahal minalahu. Fellas, Rav Yehuda had the extra. Rav Yehuda had the extra fourth. His fourth, guys, watch. Over here you have 1, 2, 3. But he's darshaning roiv kahal, meaning he's darshaning the halacha of shoygeg. Again, he has an extra to darshan that you need what? Horayos tluya bezdin, bezdin paskins, and the tzibur acts upon that psak. Reb Meir and Reb Shimon do not have that. If you look at their limudim, he has only 2 limudim. Here they are. He has 3 limudim. Here they are. So where does he go ahead, what? And learn out. Where does he go ahead and learn out this din of Hayra Tuluya bebezdin umaisa tali bekahal minalahu? So Amar Abaya says Abaya, Amakra, the pasuk says, Amakra, the pasuk says, V'hoya ime'ene yo'eda, again, this is by Avodah Zarah. Okay, now it says the lashon of me'ena eda ne'esasa. If you look at Rashi, me'ena eda ne'esasa, 2 lines from the top. Shetase l'shkaga al yidei acherim. It says me'ena eda, and then it's done by others. The hainu al yidei hayroz bezdin. So bezdin paskin, and then shetase l'shkaga, it was done by somebody else. So me'ena eda nesa b'shkaga, the eyes of the bezdin, and it was done unintentionally. Rava Amar ki l'chala am b'shkaga. You see, the whole everyone l'chala am is b'shkaga. So therefore, it teaches me that what bezdin paskins and the rest of the nation goes ahead and acts upon that psak. Now, why do you need both of them? But tzricha. Because rachmana v'hoya ime'ena eda nesa l'shkaga havamina filu miyuta. It doesn't say. It just says people do it. It doesn't say how many have to do it. It's everybody. That Bezdin has to act with them. Bezdin is part of Cholam. Therefore it says, aside from the Mene Eda, an action's done. That Bezdin doesn't go ahead and do it. So you need for both. Fred the Gemara, how could you use this to teach by Parhelim Dava, Hani Kra, this Pasha said by Avodah Zarah. In Pashas Tesvav and Bamidbar, not Vayikra Dalid. It says Gemara Yalfinan me'ene. It says there me'ene. It says Bayos me'ene, and therefore what the din that Avodah Zarah will apply by Parhel and Davish Tzibur. Okay, go back to the Mishnah for a second. Okay. Where it says Gemara, go up about 5-6 lines. This is the local bezdin, right? For Asu Soy Hashevet al PM, Isa Shevet brings it. So this is we know as the own psak guys of Rav Yehuda, right? Rav Yehuda was the one who said that if the local bezdin gives a psak, that Shevet brings it. Good. Okay, so we're going to discuss that. Okay, we're going to discuss that. Now, guys, what did Rabbi Yehuda say 2 dinim? He said a din of local bezdin, that Shevet alone brings it. He also said a din of gerira, that if Roiv of the Kahal does it, then the other 5 have to bring a par. But that was when bezdin hagadol passed him. So you have, again, Local Bezdin, one par. Bezdin Agadol, Gerira by 7. Listen to the Shaila. Lamda Shaila. Haru Bezdin Shalachad, Iboilahu. Shevet Echad LeRebbe Yehuda, B'Hayroz Bezdin Hagadol. So guys, will we go ahead and institute Gerira in this case? You hear? That one Bezdin, that one Shevet acted upon the Psak of the Bezdin Hagadol. So Zicha they're going to bring. If they bring Machmas the local Bezdin, they're going to bring Machmas what? The Psak of the Bezdin Hagadol, correct? Question. We know when there's 7 and the Bezdin Hagadol gives a Psak, the other 5 have to bring 1. Over here, do the other 11 have to bring 1? Because you got a Psak of the Bezdin Hagadol. So in other words, to what extent does Rabbi Yehuda say his din of Gerira schlepping them in? That's the Gemara. Love the Shashayla. Let's see it again. Ibarlahu. Shevet achas l'Rabbi Yehuda by Roz Bezdin Hagadol. Mi maisi shar shvatim. Are they going to bring a par? Oiloi. Mi aminon shiva shvatim. Who de maisi shar shvatim ba'dayu? When it's 7, then you're going to bring 1 along for the ride. Mishum de ikaruba. Aval chad shevet elekaruba loi. Oidil maloishna. Guys, you hear the Shaila? Everyone got it? I'll say it again one more time anyway. A good Rebbe's got to know his boys. Rabbi Yehuda says 2 dinim. I'm going to use the chart. Look at this chart, guys. Look at the chart. It's right in front of you. Says Rabbi Yehuda, if 7 parim if 7 guys, they do it, the other 5 shvatim are going to have to bring 1. I feel bad. I left it out. They're going to have to bring 1. That's called Gerira. This is called schlepping along. Now, he says over here, a local Bezdin, they bring 1. What happens if it's not a local Bezdin? What happens if it's the Bezdin Hagadol? So Zicha, that one shaver will bring 1. Question, will the other 11 bring 1 as well? Do we say Gerira by what? By 1? Or we only say Gerira by a majority? Only say Gerira by 7? So is Rabbi Yehuda's din unique to that or not? It's Kishmaka Shai. It goes to the guts of the Rabbi Yehuda's sheet. That's very nice. Okay, so that's the Shai lid handle here. Tashma, ma meviin par echad. What do they bring? A par, 1 par. Reb Shimon oimer shnei parim. So guys, we have a Tana, an ambiguous Tana, we don't know who it is, who says they bring 1, and Reb Shimon says 2. So what are we discussing? What's the case over here where someone says 1 and Reb Shimon says 2? What's that case? Okay, now, b'maya skina, what are we dealing with over here? Shiva. Guys, what would Reb Shimon say if they did 7? You bring 8. You bring 8, because you have the extra Bezdin one also, right? You have 7 plus 1. So Shiva, Reb Shimon Tanaya boy, he needs 8, and he says 2 over here. Ella must be the Chata Shevet Echad. 1 Shevet was Chayta. Good. It must be that only 1 Shevet was Chayta. B'mai. Let's say it was a local Bezdin. Reb Shimon Leslie. Guys, the only one who held a local Bezdin was what? Was Reb Yehuda. Reb Shimon did not hold it at all. So Reb Shimon is the given. He says 2. Elalav, it must be by Horayos Bezdin. It must be that Bezdin gave a psak of a gadol. And how many went ahead and did? How many went ahead and did? 1 shevet. V'tanakama. So in other words, the case over here where Reb Shimon says 2 must be where Bezdin gave a psak and 1 shevet acted upon that. So Reb Shimon says that 1 shevet is going to bring, and Bezdin's going to bring. Good. And there's a Tana who says you only bring 1. So what says the Gemara? Right. Elalabaraz Bezdin Agadol, the Tanakama money, name Reb Meya. If you can say it's Reb Meya, Haruba boy. Guys, for Reb Meya to bring 1 shevet's not going to do the job. You need Roiv. Ella must be Lav Reb Yehuda. It must be Reb Yehuda. And what are we dealing with? That only 1 shevet did it. And how many kabbanas are you bringing? 1. So let's be Paisha the Shaila that there's no Gerira. Again, one more time. It goes to the guts of. I tell you, this chart is great. If I say so myself, it's great. Here you go, guys. We have a case where you say someone's saying one and Rav Shimon is saying two. Rav Shimon is saying two. What's it speaking about? If it's speaking about what, where a local Besna gave a psak, Rav Shimon would say nothing. Here's your chart right in front of you. He'd say nothing. So Al-Koch must be speaking where the Besna Gadol gave a psak. Now, if the Besna Gadol gave a psak, so who else could it be? It can't be Reb Meir, because one person, one Shevet is not going to do the job. Only you need Roiv or Zayin Shvatim. So it can't be speaking about that. Good. So what must be speaking about? It must be speaking about one Shevet, guys. And who is it? And Rav Shimon. Rav Shimon says two. Rav Shimon, Rashi speaks out why it says this is Zayin Shvatim, but he would hold one, and Bezdin would be two. And Rabbi Yehuda says one. So you have a raya that he doesn't schlep in everybody else. You have a raya that what? He doesn't schlep in everybody else. So l'chayra, with using this, we can go ahead and figure it out. Okay. Okay, so guys, we're good. So there's no grira here, right? We're pushing, there's no grira. Amri hocha mayaskinon. Again, we're not speaking. You know what we're speaking about? We're speaking going shechatu shisha shvatim, vehin Rubin shal kahal, and it's Reb Shimon ben Elazar. Remember, guys, that's the last shita, right? You have a majority of shvatim and a minority of vice versa. The Tanya, Reb Shimon ben Elazar Aimer Mishmai, in the name of Reb Meir, chatu shisha vehin Rubin shal kahal, oy shiva afal pishein Rubin shal kahal, right? In that case, you're going to bring one. Okay, so therefore, if this case is speaking, guys, if this case is speaking, that one guy, in other words, what's guys, look at me. We have one saying one, and Rav Shimon saying two. If you're telling me it's Rav Shimon ben Elazar, not Rabbi Yehuda, what's a shaila? When one Shevet did it. It's not one Shevet that did it. It's either 6 Shvatim or 7 Shvatim. Guys, you hear? In other words, the only way to be pushed to shaila is if that ambiguous Tana, the one, I say ambiguous, and not anonymous is the word I wanted. The anonymous Tana that said one is Rabbi Yehuda. I have another Tana that can be one. You know who that is? It's Rav Shimon ben Elazar. However, if it's Rav Shimon ben Elazar, you can't be pushed to shaila. What's a shaila? If one Shevet acted upon the psak of the Bezdin HaGadol, is then the Gerira on the other 11 for another one carbon. Since it's speaking in a scenario of 6 or 7, you can't be Pasha the Shaila. How are we doing? That's good. Ishma. Okay, now we're going to try to be Pasha the Shaila. Tashma, first white line. As we say, as Kenny would say, the Erste Breite Shura. Tashma. Tashma. Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Shevet she'asa by Ros Beis Dinai. Oisa she'ashevet chayiv. V'shar kol shvatim p'turim. What did I just say? The local bezdin, right? The local bezdin, if you act upon the local bezdin, you're going to be chayiv. Ubaroz bezdin hagadol. Afilu shashvatim chayavim. But what? If it's the bezdin hagadol, not only will that shevet be chayiv, but all the other shvatim will bring one. Shma mina, we can be placed to the shaila. We just placed to the shaila, guys. You just placed to the shaila. You just placed to the shaila. Look at the lashon. It's the lashon of the Mishnah. Look at it back at our Mishnah for a second. Hora bezna shel achem and ashvatim v'asay soy hashevet al pm oisa shevet hu chayiv. Masha'en kain of what? Let's say it was the bezdin hagadol. Okay, that's Rashi's going to make that diak. Says Rav Ashi. So no, the Paisha the Shaila that he's nigrar, it goes ahead and it schleps along the other ones. Amar Vashi, Mastis Nami Deka, Diktoni, V'asay Sa Shevet, Al Pihem, Oisa Shevet Chayev, V'shar Kol Shvatim B'turim. Lamali L'misni Shar Shvatim B'turim. Why do you have to tell me all the rest of the pot? Guys, why would you think the rest are Chayev? Guys, Oisa Shevet is Chayev, and the other Shvatim are Potter. Why would you have to tell me, guys, the other? You know why the other Shvatim? Guys, look at me. The other Shvatim are Potter because it was the local Bezdin. If it wasn't like local Bezdin, the other Shvatim would be Chayiv because they would be schlepped along. It's a beautiful diak, Rav says Rav Ashi. Guys, listen to the diak. Guys, listen to the diak. That Shevet that acted upon the local Bezdin is Potter, is Chayiv. Don't say anything else. Vishar Shvatim are Potter. You know why they're Potter? Because it was local Bezdin. What about it was the Bezdin Agadol? Then Shvar Shvatim would be Chayiv a carbon. Only one Shevet acted. So we can push it, Rabbi Yehuda, that if one Shevet acts, it's nigra the other ones for one par. Right? V'shash shvatim turim, hatana oisa Shevet chayiv. V'kivin the tana oisa Shevet chayiv, memeli adina and shash shvatim turim. El hakamash malon. The Gemara is mayrach so much. El hakamash malon. The bayros bez dino hu the shash shvatim turim. Al bayros bez dina gadol afilu shash shvatim chayavim. Shmamino you have a raya. Right? Yeah. Okay, so we had a Shaila. What was the first Shaila? Like Rabbi Yehuda says the local Bezdin, right? They're Chayiv, but Shashvat Mapata. What about if Bezdin Agadol goes ahead and gives a psak? That one Bezdin, that one Shevet certainly will be Chayiv. What about all the others? We're being Poishit. The other ones will be schlepped along. Not just Zayin, like we saw in the chart, but Afilu one, the other ones with Nigrar be schlepped along. Now we have another Shaila. Iboilahu. Shevet Echad. You have one Shevet that acts upon, right, Reb Shimon, Mimaisi or Loi. Loi Reb Shimon, would that one Shevet bring or not? Okay. What's the Shaila? Reb Shimon said his din, guys, by all Kal or Zion. Is he limiting it to this or even one? Is he limited to this or even one? If you look at Rashi, Rashi speaks out to Shaila. It's the last Rashi on the right. Where Tosfos should be. It's the last Rashi on the right. Mi maisi par oiloi. Mi amrinon ki am Rab Shimon lechayev al kol kahal v'kahal the shevet echad ikri kahal. I'm in top line, Kigoin, Shechatu Shiva Shvatim. To have a Ruban, you have Roy V'Kal Yisrael. I will heicha the leka Ruba, then Kiyachid Damu. Will right Upeturim, the Yachid Shasa Baraz Bez and Pata. So here's the Shaila. If let's say you have 6 Shvatim and they act upon Bezdin, they'd be Pata. Oidilma, Kivin the Svirale, the Shevet Echad Ikri Kahal. Loishna shevet echad, v'loishna shiva, meviim par l'chol shevet v'shevet upar lebezdin. Okay, very, very long. Alum the shashayla. Let's look at the chart. Help. Rav Shimon says over here that if you have Zayin Shvatim, then you're going to bring. Now, what's the reason you're bringing? Each shevet is considered a kahal. So each one is bringing a shevet, and you have a limit for Bezdin. Is pshat, they're called a kahal because they're a roiv? Or is pshat, no, that even singularly they're called what? So therefore, if one shevet would do it, if he's called a kahal, they would bring a par and a Bezdin, and so that's the shaila. Loi Rishimon, is it pshat that only Zion is considered a kahal? Well, we say no, since he considers each one you're bringing 7, even singularly be considered kahal. And therefore what? You'd have to bring 2, one for the kahal and one for Bezdin. That's the shaila. Okay, that's the shaila of the Gemara. According to, so, Iboilahu. Shevet echad shosav hayraz Bezdin agad Reb Shimon mi ma'isi aloi. Tashma. Mahi meviyin, par echad, Reb Shimon shnei parim. Okay, this is the raya from before. Shnei parim, shmayna parim boy. What do you mean you bring shnei parim? You have to bring what? Shmayna if it's 7. Ella must be the chata sheva echad. Only one sheva did a chait. Ubimai. What did they do? Elaim Baraz Beis Dinoi. If it was a local Beis Din, Rav Shimon Leslie. Ella must be Baraz Beis Din Agadol. So it must be, guys, when Shimon says two, it must be the Haror Beis Din Gadol. If you're bringing two, we have a raya that one shave is considered a kahal. B'tizbra, Tanakama money. Who's the Tanakama? Guys, again, it's the same one we have. We have the one and the two. Guys, look, we have the one and the two. Rav Shimon says two. It must be speaking. It can't be speaking local Beis Din. He doesn't hold it at. It must be speaking about Beis Din Agadol, and nonetheless you're bringing two, right? So l'chayr, you could be paished the shaila that he considers one kahal and you're not pata. Good. Now, who's the one who says one? Who's the one who says one? Okay. V'tizbra, Tanakama money. Reb Meir haruba boy. Reb Meir says, guys, there's no shaila. There's no one shave that's not doing the job. Reb Meir is the easiest one to understand. It's Roiv and that's it. Reb Yehuda, and if it's Reb Yehuda, Shar Shvatim Nami Maisa. Reb Yehuda says, 1 second, not only one, all everyone's bringing, right? So it can't be him. Hamani, Reb Shimon ben Elazar. It must be Shimon ben Elazar, the Tanya. So you have no raya. Guys, the one and the two, you know what the one is? It's Reb Shimon ben Elazar. And what's the scenario? 6 and a majority, or 7 and a minority. So again, our shayla is 1. If it's Shimon ben Elazar, nope. So in other words, we upslug the second abaya the same way we upslug the first abaya. Okay. Toshma, the Chachomim Oimim, a Mishnah. Okay, look at the Mishnah, guys. Please look at the Mishnah. Hey, I'm an Aleph. Same place. Min Ashvatim Yasai, so Shevet al PM, the local Besdin. Oisa Shevet Uchai, Veshakal Ashvatim Baturim. Did Rabbi Yehuda, the Chachomim Oimrim, Ein Chayavim, El Hayroz Besdin Hagadol. You'd only be Chayiv one-on-one if what? It's the Besdin Hagadol. If I prove to you this is Rav Shimon, then you can be Paishat Yishayla, right? Ein Chayavim Ela Besdin Hagadol. And if I can prove to you this is Rav Shimon, we can Paishat the Shayla that one shavit is considered a kahal. So it says, Tosh Mav Chamoim Loyal Men Chayiv Ela Halroz Besdin Hagadol. Man Chachomim. If you're going to tell me it's Reb Meir, Ruba boy, you need Roy V'Kayisol. Elalav, Reb Shimon, it must be Reb Shimon, who says what? Yechayiv on Bezdin Agadol. Shmami, no, guys, you have a raya. Shmami, no, you have a raya. Okay, so now, fellas, like Reb Yehuda and Reb Shimon, each shavit is considered a kahal, right? How do you know that? Guys, how do you know Reb Yehuda and Reb Shimon that each shavit is considered a kahal? Zayin Shvatim, Zayin, 1. They said, how do you know that? Where's the limit for that? Like Reb Meir, you need a roiv. Where's the source, Reb Yehuda and Reb Shimon? Where's that source? Where's the source that you need that it's considered kahal? Okay? Where do they know that from? So they're going to quote a few psukim. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda Reb Shimon, Shevet Echad Ikri Kal Minalahu. Where do they know it from? So Amri Dichsiv Vayamo Yehoshaphat B'Kal Yehuda v'Yushalayim B'Beis Hashem L'fnei Achotza Chadasha. Yehoshaphat, he stood among the kahal. It says the kahal of Yehuda and Yushalayim. So we see that Yehuda is considered kahal. So we see one is a kahal. That would be his source, Rabbi Yehuda Reb Shimon. My Chadasha, just a side point. Rabbi Yochanan shechitshu devarim amru they machadish some Torah tful yoim al yikonis machna levia that a tful yoim can't come into machna levia. Maskav lo Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Then how do you have a proof over there that that one is considered a kahal because Yehuda and Yerushalayim are one? Dil mashani Yerushalayim dahabi nami Binyamin. We know that Binyamin and Yerushalayim and the chelik was based on Mizbeach, right? Had a chelik of Binyamin and a chelik of Yehuda. So maybe there it's called kahal because there's two. So you have no raya. It says, Elo Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov, I need a different pasuk. V'chsiv, Vayomer Elai, Hineni Mafrecha, Kodesh Baruch Hu tells Yaakov Avinu, Hineni Mafrecha, Ve'erbisicha, Nesaticha l'kahal Amen. And who wasn't born yet, guys? Binyamin. And it says kahal. So what do you have a raya? That beautiful raya, l'chayr, that one is called the kahal. So, Manis Yalid leHahushait, who was born that? Binyamin. Shmamino, Hachikam Rachmana. Misyalid lecho hashta kol achrina. You're going to have what? Another kahal. So what appears to be a great proof, the Gemara will question. Rav Shmuel Rav Kahana. Dilma Hachikam Rachmana. Maybe this is what the Kodesh Baruch Hu was telling Yaakov. When Binyamin's born to you, who the Havishnei Masa Shvatim, the Misyakri Kahal. In other words, you'll be complete. Kahal is all a Kal Yisrael. Right now, they're not a Kahal because it's not complete. But if Binyamin is going to be born, it'll complete the Kahal. Now, Amalei, Rav Kana said to Rav Shiva, El Shnayim Asa Shvatim Ikri Kahal. 12 is called a Kahal. Echad Asa Shvatim like Ikri Kahal. 1 second. Yoshafat guy stood, and we wanted to say, 1 second, maybe in Yerushalayim there's 2. In other words, it's counterintuitive. Your first raya that you brought, you said you can't bring a raya to 1 because maybe Yerushalayim is 2. But 2 zicha would be. So now you want to tell me, no, you dafka need 12 and 11, not. So obviously it must be good raya if that Binyamin is being born is considered kahal. So therefore, l'chayra, you have a very, 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 very good raya. The fact that what? That he's born. Okay? I think we'll stop over here. Okay, I think we'll stop over. It's a good place to stop.